So I begin most of these videos by talking about, some kind of spicy drama, something that we can get together and laugh at. This, unfortunately, is not the situation this time because a famous family YouTuber has been arrested for some, pretty deplorable things. This is a fairly older story, but there's been some huge updates in the past couple of hours. But first, I do want to say I'm going to be attending PAX in Melbourne, Australia between the 6th and 7th of October. On the 6th, the Friday, I'll be doing a meet and greet between 6 and 8 p.m. And then on the 7th, on the Saturday, I'll be doing another meet and greet between 7 p.m. and 8:30. I just did a meet and greet in the UK, so to see anyone that watches me in Australia, which is apparently a worrying amount of you for some reason, hope to see you there. So you may have heard the story regarding the YouTuber Ruby Frank, who ran a channel called 8 Passengers. I really do wish I could sit here and tell you, oh, look what Quibblecup's done with his AI. Lol, guys, it's so cringe, Lamau.
And there we go. All right, animals, follow me, guys. Please, pretty please.
So this channel, 8 Passengers, ran by Ruby, was essentially like a kind of family vlog channel. And the thing is, I've noticed with a lot of these family vlog channels, if they don't have any apparent drama on the surface, there's usually something always boiling deep beneath that ends up being a lot worse. I know there's a lot of YouTuber families that people don't like. For example, the Ace family that I've done numerous videos on. For example, when Austin, the patriarch of the Ace family, he got a jet ski and he was driving it across a pool, and it basically caused a mudslide to some of the residents living in the Hollywood Hills.
You're disrespectful to our pool.
What? And then other family channels like the Royal Family, whose entire bit is basically just to flex how much wealth they have. Their kids are dressed head to toe in Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Versace, Prada, just any kind of brand you could name. And honestly, the drip is terrible, but they don't care because all they want you to know is they have a lot of money. Now, again, both of those examples are much lesser than what I'm talking about today because with Ruby and the channel 8 Passengers, she's actually been charged on 2 accounts of child abuse, her own children. So what happened is Ruby actually ended up duct taping her children, and when they were found, they were basically emaciated, meaning they were either dehydrated or starving. They were taped around their extremities as well, and they basically broke free and then ran to a neighbor's house and snitched, and that's the only reason why this story blew up. Now, keep in mind, 8 Passengers wasn't just a small family vlog channel. They had around 2 million subscribers, which is it's more than this channel. Like I said, it was family content. It was like Shaytards or any kind of family group you could think of. You had the mother, Ruby, the husband, Kevin, and their 6 children. Shari, who was 20, Chad, who was 18, Abby, who was 16, Julie, who was 14, Russell, who was 12, and Eve, who was 10. But the surprising thing is about this whole situation is apparently this has been going on for a very long time, but no one's really talked about it. It got swept under the rug. For example, Chad, the 18-year-old son, he basically went on to say that his parents or his mom, Ruby, has made him sleep on a beanbag bed for around 7 months. Now, I love lying on a beanbag, even though I don't have one in my house, but for 7 months, I think that's definitely going to cause you some sleeping problems. And the reason why he was given this beanbag punishment for 7 months, he basically had his bedroom taken away from him. And apparently that punishment, taking away his entire bedroom basically and forcing him onto the sleeping bag punishment, was because he pranked his younger brother, Russell, the 12-year-old. And then apparently the mom and dad, Ruby and Kevin, gave him the ultimatum of sleeping in a pull-out guest bed, inflatable mattress, or the beanbag. And apparently he chose the beanbag. And then there was another completely unrelated situation years before that, where the youngest, Eve, who is now 10, was probably even younger at the time, she was dropped off at school by Ruby, the mom, and she forgot on her lunch. The school called up and said, your kid doesn't have any food to eat. And she basically just goes unlucky, refusing to drive back up and drop her off food. She said in an article, Eve is responsible for making her own lunches in the morning. So the natural outcome is she's just going to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her lunch. So you can really tell that Ruby, the mother, is trying to get her kids to experience the Hunger Games films in some kind of 5D or something. 3D glasses wasn't enough. 4D, where they spray water on you, make the seats move around, not enough. It's got to be 5D, where you basically live in existential dread, anxiety, and fear every single day. Now, Child Protective Services were sent around, and in most countries, they're pretty incompetent, so they couldn't charge anything or find any claim because of insufficient evidence. And then, of course, in any situation where a big YouTuber gets into trouble, people do a petition to cancel them. I'm gonna be honest, they try this with everyone. They did it with James Charles, and that didn't even work. And then she responded into this like petition saying it was purely seeking to throw hate. It was just so malicious that they knew what they were doing was way out of context. They're purely seeking to throw hate. That was their only objective. No, to be fair, Ruby, I think the main objective was to get your kid to sleep on an actual human bed, not a dog bed. And also on top of that, to make sure that your child actually eats the normal amount that a human should eat. I just like that cope. I like how the word hate is always like the kind of the get out of jail card with like so many of these influencers. What do you mean I can't? What do you mean I can't torture my child? No, you don't understand. No, you're a hater. You're a hater. I can't see the haters. I've got dollar bills over my eyes. I don't know why I'm doing a British accent. Like she's American. So the really weird situation going ahead now is, like I said, Ruby has been arrested, charged twice with, you know, child abuse. But surprisingly, Kevin, the husband, hasn't actually been charged at all. But who has been charged is her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt. And apparently as well, when the kids ran off to like warn the neighbors, they found them emaciated, malnourished, and also open wounds. Jesus Christ. Now, I can imagine a lot of people watching this video are going to draw parallels to the Daddy-O-5 situation, how the parents there would like prank the kids, basically just physically assaulting them. But this is like a new layer of evil. And also as well, keep in mind that Child Protective Services actually got involved with Daddy-O-5 and that situation was resolved. But with this now, you've got the eldest daughter that I mentioned earlier, Shari, has basically spoken out saying that she's so glad that justice is finally being served. Imagine being in that much of like a toxic environment that you're basically happy to get away from your parents. So like I said, there have been some like smaller updates after this like huge fiasco. There is still like a court date going on, but the husband has now came out basically saying that he won't be pointing fingers and just wants what's best for his kids, even though that's quite vague. And even more documents have came out that Ruby, the mother, would use cyan pepper and honey to treat wounds. So if the kids got like injured at school or like, you know, even at the home, probably at the home if they're being like duct taped, the mom actually thought it was a good idea to put chili powder, pepper powder onto their wounds. Do I need to explain how that is just not a good idea at all? And apparently as well, when they went into the home to like seize assets that they could use against her, they found handcuffs, bandage wraps, rope. And it's pretty obvious that the family knew about the extent of the abuse because one of the girls, one of the eldest, before this story actually broke out and the kids escaped and ran to the neighbors and went to the police and so on, they were already trying to fill in welfare checks, knowing that they wouldn't have their mom's financial support anymore. And then you've got really weird articles like this. I just found this right now. OJ Simpson's former lawyer breaks down how he would defend YouTube mom and accused child abuser Ruby Frank. I don't think we need OJ Simpson's lawyer having anything to do with this. I honestly, I've had enough of going on Twitter and just seeing OJ Simpson go, "Hey Twitter world, today I hit a one shot at my personal golf course." I like how that lawyer has obviously used that claim to kind of get himself in the spotlight, but it's like out of all the people you mention, it is the one guy that was acquitted, and then also he basically got sued in a civil court and lost for wrongful death. So he was found guilty anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much the situation with that. I know I didn't crack too many jokes, but it is like a really... That's a horrible situation, and I really do wish the kids the best because like having a parent like that is unreal, just completely monstrous.